Today I want to talk about something I see all the time. A business owner comes to me because something feels off. They're making sales, their schedule is full, their employees are working, their customers keep calling. From the outside, the business looks fine, but the owner knows something isn't right. There's never quite enough cash. They're moving money around to cover things. A lot of them say, it's like robbing Peter to pay Paul. Payroll feels heavier than it used to. A couple of customers are taking forever to pay, and the credit card balance just keeps creeping up. And every month, they tell themselves, next month will be better. That's what I want to talk about today, because businesses usually don't wake up one morning and suddenly have a financial problem. They get warnings first. The problem is, though, a lot of owners don't know what those warnings actually look like. So let's go through some of the biggest ones. And as I do, I want you to keep score. Don't think about somebody else's business, but think about yours. If you own a trades business and you're working harder than ever, but the money, freedom, or growth still isn't showing up the way it should, you're in the right place. This is Profit Isn't an Accident, where we talk about what's really happening inside your business. We talk about your numbers, your jobs, your people, and the decisions that are either building a stronger company or quietly holding you back. I'm Shannon Howard. I'm the founder of Denali Edge Consulting. So let's figure out what's actually going on in your business. So warning sign number one, you have revenue, but you're always short on cash. This is probably the biggest one we talk about a lot, okay? Your P&L might even show a profit, but you're looking at your bank account, right? You're thinking, where the hell is it? If that keeps happening, don't brush it off. Your money, it went somewhere. Maybe customers haven't paid you yet. Maybe you have too much cash sitting in your materials, or maybe your jobs aren't producing the margins that you actually think they are. Maybe overhead has grown way faster than your revenue, or maybe you're paying debt. Maybe you're taking too much out of your business. There are 100 places that it could be going. But here's what I don't want you doing. I don't want you looking at your bank account and just guessing. Your bank balance is an outcome. It's not an explanation. You need to know what's actually causing it. Warning sign number two, you need the next job to pay for the last one. And this one is dangerous because it can look like normal cash flow. A deposit comes in for your next project, right? And you immediately need that money for payroll, for materials, for bills from jobs that you've already completed. Then another deposit comes in. Again, the same thing happens. You can keep that cycle going for quite a while when your sales are strong, right? But until sales slow down, right? Or a customer pays late, or a big job gets pushed out 2 more weeks. And suddenly there isn't another deposit coming through the door fast enough. So if tomorrow's sales are constantly paying yesterday's bills, I need you to pay attention. Warning sign number 3, you don't know which jobs are actually making money. I've talked about job profitability before, but it belongs on this list because it affects damn near everything else. If I asked you right now, what type of job made you the most money over the last 6 months? Could you answer me from actual numbers? Not which job had the biggest contract, not your favorite kind of work, not the job that went so smoothly. Which one made you the most money after you paid for the labor, the materials, the subs, the equipment, and everything else that it took to complete it? Because you can have a $100,000 job that's worse for your business than a $20K job. And if you don't know that, you can accidentally grow the least profitable part of your company. And that right there is a problem. Warning sign number 4, payroll starts making you nervous. Now, there is a difference between payroll being a large expense and payroll becoming a source of panic every 2 weeks. So if you find yourself checking the bank balance before payroll, waiting for one more customer payment to hit, moving money around, maybe using a line of credit, or thinking, you know what, we're fine as soon as this check comes in, that's a warning. Don't just ask, do I have enough money to make payroll on Friday? I want you to ask, why is making payroll Friday dependent on what happens this week? Those are two completely different questions. Warning sign number 5, you're using debt to cover normal operations. Now, I'm not anti-debt. Debt can be a useful business tool. Buying equipment that produces revenue is very different from putting your electric bill on a card because cash is tight. So if you're using credit cards or a line of credit to regularly cover payroll, materials, insurance, rent, fuel, or normal operating expenses, I want you to figure out why. Because debt may be hiding the actual root problem. The credit card gives you another month. The line of credit, it gives you another few weeks, but neither one fixes an unprofitable job or bad pricing or slow collections or overhead that's gotten too high. It just buys you time until it doesn't. Warning sign number 6, your business is growing, but your life is getting harder. This one fools a lot of owners. Revenue went from $700,000 to $1 million, then $1 million to 1.5. So obviously things are going well, right? Not necessarily. Because while revenue was growing, maybe you added 3 more employees, maybe you bought another truck, you hired office staff, you added the software that you needed. Maybe you moved to a bigger shop or started taking on larger jobs. And now you're doing significantly more revenue while keeping the same amount of money or even less. Growth doesn't automatically make a business healthier. Sometimes growth magnifies this problem that was already there. And that's why I want you watching what happens to your profit and cash as your revenue grows, not just revenue by itself. Warning sign number 7, you've stopped looking because you just don't want to know. This one has nothing to do with a ratio or a financial statement. You know when you're doing it, right? You stop checking the credit balance. You don't want to open your P&L. You know your receivables are getting old, but you haven't even looked to see exactly how old they are. You tell yourself you're too busy to sit down with the numbers, and I get it. When you're carrying the customers, the employees, the jobs, the family, and everything else that comes with owning a business, sometimes the last thing you want is another problem. But avoiding the numbers doesn't make them better. It just gives the problem more time to grow. And I'd much rather have you find something when it's a $5,000 problem than when it's a $50,000 problem. So I'm going to give you homework. I do it every single time. So here it is, okay? I want you to take 20 minutes this week. That's it. You can do this. I want you to pull up your current bank balance, your credit card and your line of credit balances. I want you to pull up your accounts receivable and your last 3 months of P&L statements and the profitability of your last 5 completed jobs. Come on, just go with it if you're tracking it, okay? Then answer 5 questions for me. Number 1, is my cash increasing or decreasing? Number 2, is my debt increasing or decreasing? Number 3, are my customers paying me faster or slower? Number 4, are my jobs producing the profit that I expected? And number 5, this one is key. As my revenue grows, am I actually keeping more money? Now, don't overcomplicate this. Don't make excuses as to why you can't do this. You aren't trying to become an accountant this weekend. That's my job, okay? You're looking for a pattern because one bad month happens, one weird job happens, one customer paying late happens. A pattern is different. Patterns are what I want you paying attention to, okay? If you go through those 5 questions and something doesn't add up, don't immediately try to fix it. First, I want you to figure out why it's happening. That's where most owners get this bass backwards, right? Cash is tight, so they think they automatically got to sell more. Profit is down, so they're cutting expenses like they're going out of style. They're overwhelmed, so they hire someone. Their sales slow down, so they spend more on marketing that really gets them nowhere. Those might be the right answers at the right time, but if you haven't figured out what's causing the problem, you don't know. Don't prescribe the treatment before you've diagnosed the problem. And if you do your homework and you realize, Shannon, I have no freaking idea why this is happening, that's exactly the kind of conversation I want to have with you. Go to Denali Edge Consulting, book a free profit acceleration session. We'll look at what's actually happening in your business and we'll start finding the problem underneath the problem, okay? Because the warning signs aren't there to scare you. They're there to give you the time to do something about it. Today's episode made you stop and think about your own business? Don't ignore it. The problems costing you the most money are usually the ones that you've gotten used to living with. If you want help figuring out what's really going on inside your business, grab a free copy of my book, The Profit Edge Playbook, or book a profit acceleration session with me at Denali Edge Consulting. And remember, revenue doesn't build a great business by itself. Profit isn't an accident.